Caleb Williams has arrived at his pro day at USC. It is not just Caleb Williams on that field.
What?
Obviously, all eyes are on the number one over-projected pick, the superstar Heisman winner out of USC, who still has yet to get a haircut or a shave, which we do appreciate and respect. A man who I think turned a lot of heads at the Combine whenever he was doing all of the incredibly superhero things, shaking everybody's hand, even in production meetings, introducing himself locally, going and seeing some local kids here in Indianapolis to say hello, kind of talk to them, motivate, inspire them. I went from being like, Caleb, there's a lot of talent in the NFL. There's a lot of superstars in the NFL. So what his camp was saying, what his team was saying, I want a percentage of a team. It's like, hey, bud, the NFL is going to go on with or without you. This is a much different situation than college football. No offense, is how a lot of people felt about Caleb Williams. Then one weekend in Indianapolis, I'm hearing from waiters at restaurants. I'm hearing from Robert Mathis with the Gridiron Gang. I'm hearing from GMs and teams, and ESPN's talking about how at our meeting, what he did, who he introduced himself. It's like this guy's team has been talking for him a lot. Feels like we need to get to know him better because what we're learning quickly is this is going to be the guy that you want to lead your team from being a little bit of an abysmal mess for most recent history to maybe a relevant conversation in the NFC North. Eberflus is there, the head coach of the Bears. Keenan Allen, the newest member of the Chicago Bears, is there. You saw him dap up whenever he came onto the field. And today is going to be a choreographed, rehearsed, offensive display by Caleb Williams that's going to leave us all dumbfounded and gobsmacked by his talent. This guy can be special. Now he's throwing to Jerry Rice's kid, which helps. And they weren't able to win many games because their defense was giving up like 55 points. And by many games, I mean like the big ones, whenever they talk about championships and everything, which are going to hold over his head. But this guy is being talked about as the next one, Pac-Man. What are your thoughts on if a rookie quarterback can play in the style that he plays and have success? And do you think it's going to be easy to follow up what C.J. Stroud just did as the greatest NFL rookie quarterback in history? That's real.
I don't know if he's going to be able to do what Stroud did. Stroud had one of the best years that we'll ever see. This kid can play football. The question is, can he throw the comebacks and do the little things? We know he can throw the deep ball. They threw the deep ball the whole season. But I think he could be good. I don't like all the other antics that's coming with it about what team you want to go to.
Yeah, I'll go here. I'll maybe do this.
Yeah, it feels like that's bullshit, though.
That was his team. It was either his team or maybe it was somebody that didn't think they were going to be in the top 3 picks, trying to like say some bullshit. Or, you know, people did say that, and everybody immediately was like,
right, please can it? Because I read it on something like it was like, well, you should say you don't want to go to the Bears and do what
RG3.
Triple sticks.
Pause, bro.
RG3.
Pause.
Right.
And the G.
Well, I learned the origin story of triple sticks, and I don't know if he loves that.
What's the origin story?
What do you mean?
I think it's in the jungle.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever heard triple sticks was in the jungle. So
Jim Rome, right?
yeah, bingo. Yep.
Yeah. So,
But Romy was speaking very highly of him when he was talking about it.
was he?
I think so, if my memory serves right.
Usually is.
Yeah.
Anyways, RG3 is a massive media personality now. They have him on Monday Night Countdown.
Yep.
He's on, all NFL stuff. Does a lot of college stuff as well, but like legitimate personality in the NFL sport. Like has won an NFL Rookie of the Year over Andrew Luck. So like his say matters and it's going to reach a lot of people. Whenever he did that, hey, he needs to command that the Chicago Bears don't draft him. Boy, that got quite a reaction out of a lot of people. And RG3 became the guy who became like, okay, this guy, what are we even, this is the NFL. There's 32 jobs. Like, you're getting drafted that high because you are very good and their place is still trying to turn over. Now, this is the Panthers' number 1 overall pick, not the Bears. But instead, like RG3 becomes almost heel. And Caleb Williams is a guy now that would be honored to be a Chicago Bear. Like would be very excited to go and be a part of changing a culture in a place that has a very passionate fan base. Like everything Caleb's saying seems to be right. And today will be another display of him being great with a football in his hand.
Yeah, and Dan Orlovsky, I saw the bottom line on Get Up this morning about how it is the greatest situation in the last 30 years for a number 1 overall pick. Like think about Burrow. Like Burrow came in as number 1 overall, got murdered, legitimately almost got his head taken off of his body because the Bengals deserved and earned the number 1 overall pick. And then you look at the Bears, and it's like, hey, the Bears probably would have had a top 5 pick, and then they closed the season so hot after trading for Sweat. Like, they were finally getting their groove when the season ended. They still end up with the number 1 pick as the Panthers. And then you look at the moves they made this offseason. It's like, hey, now he has Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, and that's probably the biggest or number 1 problem he has with going to Chicago is going to DJ Moore and being like, hey, I heard what you said about me and Fields being better than me. Like, can you give me a couple practices to prove it that I am pretty good at football? Because aside from that, like, they drafted first-round O-line last year. They're going to have another top 10 pick. They could probably draft another first-round top 10 tackle this year with him. They don't really need weapons now because they have, Keenan, DJ Moore. Signed Swift, paid Cole Kmet. Like, they don't have that many holes on their team.
And Eberflus's culture
is
seemingly settling in.
Boom.
And his culture was something that was beloved here in Indianapolis by everybody that played in there. And they're putting a focus on it and getting people that he wants in there. It's like, feels like they're maybe turning a corner.
Seriously.
Hey, Zito, you guys turning a corner right now. Now, it sucks for Justin Fields that this didn't all happen, whenever Justin Fields was coming in as the number 11 overall pick to the Chicago Bears. But it's like, with Caleb Williams, you got to be pumped that you're going to a team that isn't the worst in the NFL, wasn't the worst in the NFL, and also investing in what would make a rookie NFL quarterback's life easier. We got offensive line, defense, and running back. So what does that mean? Well, there's a lot of this happening, and then what? And then now Caleb has a little bit open. Who are his receivers? He doesn't have any. They just signed another one.
All pros.
A guy who's just always open.
Got 100
it's like
catches last year.
Good for the look at the Bears.
Seriously,
it's a positive.
Watch
comeback.
That division, like if the Vikings trade up and do get one of those top 3 guys, all of a sudden they're 4 quarterback? I guess you could say 3 because Goff's a little older, but like 3 very, very young quarterbacks in that division for the next 15 years.
And the NFC North's the kitchen. It's hot in the kitchen.
It is.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
Hell yeah.
And the cream's still at the top. Foxy knows.
The Detroit Lions.
No, I mean, I'm saying the Packers and the Lions are, right there.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just say half of the division is the cream that's at the top.
Well, it is, though, because half the division won a playoff game last year. And the Lions won a couple. And if they wouldn't have choked in the NFC Championship, they would have went to the Super Bowl.
And they would have won the Super Bowl.
And if the Packers wouldn't have choked in, they should have beat the Niners, and they probably beat the Lions.
Well,
they probably win the Super Bowl. So it's,
NFC North's got a couple Super Bowl champions.
It does.
Exactly.
It does.
You're a nose hair away from 2 Super Bowl champions in the division.
Nobody's talking about it.
No, they're not.
Hey, NFC North, small towns, yeah.
Okay,
nobody wants to talk about it.
And those teams only got better.
So maybe that's what RG3 was talking about.
could be.
Maybe RG3, you say, you need to get out of Chicago.
Yeah,
More
more sense.
You got 2 Super Bowl champions in the NFC North already.
Yeah.
You need to get to the NFC East. Everybody stinks over here.
Exactly.
Division stinks.